buses run free to a land where the children are free. And you and me are free to be. And you and me are free to be.
Do you want me to go with you?
Oh,
I'm not going with you. All those people blowing their noses. You can't tell the sick from the sad. I'll be
Greetings. My name is Melanjali, and I'm a third grader here at Lawrence Woodmere Academy, and a member of the Liverpool class here at a School of the Arts, otherwise known as ESOTA. I made a short film in order to show you all how my family and I celebrate Black History Month. I asked some of my friends from ESOTA to help me out. This is Morgan.
Hello everyone, my name is Morgan Peacock.
Reagan.
Hello, my name is Reagan Phillips.
Gabriella.
Hey there, I'm Gabriella Edwards.
And Kayla.
Greetings, my name is Kayla Marie Mingo.
Together, we spend Black History Month performing for all kinds of people.
For us, Black History Month actually kicks off January 15th, the birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We get the day from school, but we can't stay in bed. We wake up at 6 a.m. in the morning and travel all the way to Glen Cove to the Findlay Middle School, where we perform for the mayor's celebration. They like for us to show our dance film with live performance entitled For Little Girls. In 1963, 4 little girls aged 8 to 14, Addie Mae Collins, Carol Robertson, Denise McNear, and Cynthia Wesley, lost their lives when a bomb planted by white people who did not like black people went off in their church basement. Martin Luther King Jr. spoke at the girls' funeral. The bomb was meant to send a message of fear to black people in Birmingham, Alabama. I was not taught this in school. I heard this story by dancing it, and we danced it for others to celebrate their lives. From then on, our schedule gets extremely rigorous. The remainder of January is spent gearing up for the remainder of our tour. We have 2 short weeks to learn the repertoire for a slew of back-to-back performances. What dances we do depends on our age and skill level, so we spend this time teaching our old parts to the younger dancers and learning our new role from the older dancers. We work on getting the movements in sync, executing the movement with expression, and the history behind each of the stories that we will tell. We get fitting for our new costumes and go over the tour itinerary.
That's off we go and there's no stopping us. Every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we have a performance somewhere in the tri-state area. We travel by bus and carpools, and sometimes we get to stay overnight and swim in indoor pools at hotels in the middle of February. The best show was probably at the Museum of Moving Image in Astoria. The auditorium is huge, and so is the movie screen. They let us explore the museum exhibits during our breaks. My favorite part of the tour is during midwinter recess from school. Each year, we travel by bus to the East End and stay for the whole weekend to perform at the Parish Art Museum, the Bridgehampton Community Center, the Southampton Methodist Church, and the Shinnecock Indian Reservation Preschool.
So basically, we celebrated Black History Month by learning and sharing African American history through dance for a lot of different audiences. This is important the same way that learning history in school is important. we only learned about us being slaves and about the civil rights movement. There's so much more to the history than that, and Black History Month is spent filling the void for others. Black families actually celebrate the African American experience every day of the year.
Well, I hope that sums it up for all you viewers who were so kind to take the time out to listen. Be on the look for one of our upcoming performances. All our upcoming performances will be online. I know that sounds kind of boring, but it's actually loads of fun. Be well. I hope you enjoy this celebration.
Mommies are people, people with children. When mommies were little, they used to be girls like some of you. But then they grew, and now mommies are women. Women with children, busy with children and things that they do. There are a lot of things a lot of mommies can do. Some mommies are ranchers, or poetry makers, or doctors and teachers, or cleaners or bakers. Some mommies drive taxis or sing on TV. Yeah, mommies can be almost anything they wanna be.
Well, they can't be grandfathers or daddies. Daddies are people, people with children. When daddies were little, they used to be boys like some of you. But then they grew, and now daddies are men. Men with children, busy with children and things that they do. There are a lot of things a lot of daddies can do. Some daddies are writers, or grocery sellers, or painters, or welders, or funny joke tellers. Some daddies play cello, or sail on the sea. Yeah, daddies can be almost anything they wanna be.
They can't be grandmas or mommies. Parents are people,
Parents are people,
people with children.
people with children. When parents were little, they used to be kids.
Like all of you.
But
Then
then
they
they
grew, and now parents are grown-ups.
Parents are grown-ups,
Grown-ups with children.
grown-ups with children,
Busy with children and things that they do. There are a lot of things, a lot of mommies,
and a lot of daddies,
and a lot of parents can do.
Got a shiny black car, ain't got no bundle of bright green money. The clothes on my back are off the rack. Know what? So what? I don't care, 'cause you know what I got. I got fabulous feet. I love my fabulous feet. Oh, I am filled with devotion. Each time they're in motion, or when they're just keeping the beat. 2, 3, 4, fabulous feet. Sit back, relax, cause if a treat will entertain and amuse you. So let me introduce you to me and my fabulous feet. Oh, you can keep your money, keep your car, keep your fancy clothes, 'cause I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 talented toes on the end of my fabulous feet. We'll shut down any ocean. We'll do such fine combinations, configuration. into shock. What a scandal, cause no one holds a candle to me and my fabulous queen.
Master, the tempest is raging and the billows are tossing high. You see the sky is all shadowed with blackness. Oh, no hell. Oh, no, every night. And carry our loss that we pay.
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was deaf, and the Word was nigger, and the Word was deaf to all niggers, and the Word was deaf to all life, and the Word was deaf to all peace. Be still. The Genesis was life, the Genesis was death, and the Genesis of death was the Genesis of war. Be still, peace, be still. In the name of peace, they waged the wars. Ain't they got no shame? In the name of peace, Lot's wife is now a product of the Morton Company. No, they ain't got no shame. Noah packing his wife and kiddies up for a holiday. Row, row, row your boat. But why'd you leave the unicorns, Noah, huh? Why'd you leave them? While our black Madonna stood there, 18 feet high, holding him in her arms, listening to the rumblings of peace. Be still, be still. Can I get a witness, 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 he wanted to know. And Peter only asked, who is that dude? Who is that black dude? Looks like a troublemaker to me. And the foundations of the mighty, mighty Roman Catholic Church were laid. Hallelujah, Jesus, no. They ain't got no shame, 'cause they killed the Carthaginians in the Great Appian Way. And they killed the Moors just to civilize a nation. And they just killed the earth and blew out the sun in the name of a God whose genesis was white. And war wooed God, and America was born, where war became peace, and genocide patriotism, and honor is a happy slave, 'cause all God's children need rhythm. And glory, hallelujah, why can't peace be still? The great emancipator was a bigot, ain't they got no shame? And making the world safe for democracy were 20 million slaves, no, they ain't got no shame. And they barbecued 6 million to raise the price of beef, and crossed the 16th parallel to control the price of rice. Ain't we never gonna see the light? And champagne was shipped out of the east, while kosher pork was introduced to Africa. Only the torch can show the way. In the beginning was the deed, and the deed was death, and the honkies are getting confused. Peace, be still. So the great white prince was shot like a nigger in Texas, and our black shining prince was murdered like that thug in his cathedral, while our nigger in Memphis was shot like their prince in Dallas. And my Lord, ain't we never gonna see the light? The rumblings of this peace must be still, be still, be still. All black people, ain't we got no pride?
Wade in the water, wade in the water, wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water, 'cause it's gonna trouble the water. Why don't you wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water, 'cause it's gonna trouble. See that man all dressed in white. God's gonna trouble the water. Oh, it looks like the man of the Israelites. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. See that man all dressed in red. It looks like the man that Moses led. In the Daniel, Daniel, oh, Daniel, I didn't know it. Deliver Daniel, and one of every man. Didn't my Lord deliver Daniel, 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 didn't my Lord deliver Daniel, one of every man. And then went down to the river. Man went down to the river.
Excellent. Excellent. Again, we have to thank our Soda and the wonderful job they're doing with our young people. You know what? After seeing that performance, we know our future is secured with our young people. One of the songs or performances that I really loved was Mommies Are People Too, right? And with that being said, I want to welcome the mommy of our president, Miss Wadena Perry, to give us a few remarks. Miss Perry, you have to take yourself off mute, Mom. Miss Perry, you're still on mute. If the production team can assist.
Go ahead, Mama, unmute yourself.
Come back to Mama, John. Go next.
All right. Well, mommies are people too. We want to recognize some of the powerful leaders at DC 37 who have joined us this evening. We have with us the treasurer of DC 37, also the president of 1407. We all know him and love him here at Local 372, Mr. Maf Udeen. Maf, if you can, provide us with some remarks, please. President Udeen.
Okay. Yes, good evening to all. Good to be here from the celebration at Local 372 since I arrived at District Council 37 with Veronica to Santos to Sean D. Francois the First, my brother, and my mother is here. I'm so happy for her. I have not seen her for a long time. So the Black history is us, is we who are here today. We are the testament of the Black history, Black achievement, Black work in this country has been done. We are labor. If you look into the history, the movement that we saw, we heard, we know the African American did. It is the labor movement that came first with that movement, and that movement slowly, surely flourished. We know the Memphis sanitation workers strike and F. Smith's role there. So that fight still continues. I say this all the time. The sacrifice that the African American has made is apparent in every struggle this country took, whether it is the labor movement, whether it is the democratic movement. If you see from the first Black president, Barack Obama, to the now first African American South Asian vice president elected, shattered the glasses after 244 years. It is the struggle that African American has gone throughout their life. Their sacrifices has culminated all these results which we are now the beneficiaries. So we cannot be just using that and enjoy that. We must continue to help this very movement that created by the African American. The only way we can reward, we can give them what they deserve by through the continuation of this struggle. So everybody, today you celebrate, but tomorrow our struggle continues to achieve that goal that will bring us to the equal level of all American that we are enjoying. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President, so very much for your remarks. And next up, we have a man, he really needs no introduction. He's our fearless leader here at DC 37. When the pandemic first hit, he made sure that our members, our family had PPE before New York City determined that it was a moral thing to do. It was a safe thing to do to provide our members with PPE. He stood on the front line and ensured that our members did not miss a paycheck against some very formidable opponents. With no further ado, I'd like to introduce to you our executive director, Mr. Henry Garrido.
Thank you very much, Brother Jackson. I will tell Bob Lee that he has competition with you up there. You looking wonderful. To my local 372 family, much love to all of you. I bring greetings to you and celebrations in this Black History Month. I'm about to tell you a story. This morning, I had an opportunity to get my first vaccine shot, and I did it proudly with a local 372 mask. And Sean, you would appreciate this. One of the reporters asked, "What does it mean to stay ready on your mask? What does that mean?" For the first time, I got to say what you always said, which is because if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So that was quite enjoyable today. I did this today with my brother Kyle Brax, the president of 32BJ, because we don't believe in anything that you are not willing to sacrifice yourself. And we believe by setting an example. It is clear to us that a lot of the discussion has been about essential workers. Our workers have been essential from the beginning, before the pandemic. And while schools were being closed, our workers were there every single day. They're still there every single day. Even when holidays were out, without hazard pay, without any kind of protection, as Jack said, in many times sacrificing their own personal selves, without proper PPEs. The union actually had to go and buy PPEs at a time when the city and government had a responsibility to protect its workers. And in the wake of this, when workers were being touted as heroes, were being presented as essential workers that saved us, the greatest reward that the city could see, in my opinion, was to hand over a pink slip to 22,000 city workers. That was the proverbial phrase of adding insult to injury at a time where our workers are being praised. But this isn't new. We've seen this before. We've seen this movie before. We saw it after September 11th. We saw it during Hurricane Sandy. Our workers step up. They do the role. They go out there. They sacrifice. There were the meeting yesterday at the pension board meeting. More than 300 city workers have applied for the death benefit under COVID-19. Almost 200 of them are DC 37 members, many from this very own local. And they're dying at the rate of twice as much as their white counterparts. That is a shame. That is unconscionable. And so as a union, we fought to make sure that people get unlimited sick time for those who are COVID benefit. And more importantly, to get a disability benefit that is on the accidental disability penalty, because they got it on the job, right? And that's the big fight. And so today we found ourselves, after being praised as great, being praised as essential, still not having hazard pay, still not having PPEs in many instances, still not having access to vaccine at the same level of other city workers. So Black History Celebration, if anything, has taught us that we get nothing for free and that we are giving nothing, that we're not willing to sacrifice and die. And the union that I'm so proud to lead with my brother, Sean DeFrancois I, is a union who stood up at times when many other unions were disappearing, because many of its leaders were actually were willing to coalesce keeping their members home because they didn't have to come in, rather than to speak the truth to protect their very own members. And I'm going to say this at a time where we're coming on the wake of, so many important Black Lives Matter movements across this country, where people are rising up and standing up and speaking up. And where we have leaders like Letitia James that are fighting and bringing to bear the inequities that you see in the criminal justice systems. When you have people like Kamala Harris who have broken the barrier, being elected president, and on, achievement after achievement, that we find ourselves here in this February, right, of 2021, with the same struggle we found ourselves 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 20 years ago, 100 years ago. So today, I stand before you very proud of having been the leader that stood up to these inequities. Proud to be a leader of a union who stood up and say, hey, Black History Month means protecting people on the jobs, right? And that Black history is in fact American history. And that you can't talk about what is happening in this country with the founding fathers without talking with the same breath about the work of Martin Luther King. And let us not forget Dr. King died fighting for sanitation workers, for equal pay, for a decent working conditions. And the strike that led to that was the death of 2 African-American sanitation workers who had fallen asleep because they were so tired from doing the work. And yet here we are in the anniversary of 50 Dr. Luther King 2 years ago, making celebration, and those sanitation workers still did not get their pension and the money that they justly deserve. The ones that went on strike for. And it took yet again the labor movement to rise up and say, we honor the memory of Dr. King by fighting for those who died before us and by protecting those who are living today. And today, I thank you, Local 372. I thank you, the members, because when many of those schools were closed, you were there feeding the hungry. When many of the people were home, teachers and principals were in a remote location, you were in the school putting yourself first for the sake of not only the children, but sake of many of those who otherwise would have gone hungry without you. And if the mayor will not do proper justice, or the governor will not make proper justice, or even the president would not do proper justice to the sacrifices that you've done, and if they would only mention the educational system as this big blob of hundreds of thousands of people who I respect a lot, I want to thank you for what work that you've done and the work you continue to do. Let us continue to celebrate. And I promise and I pledge to you that as long as there's any energy in this body, as long as there is a living cell that continues to flow through these veins, I will fight for you the way I will fight for my own family and the way I would fight for my own kids and my own mother, because we are a family. Thank you. Good night and happy celebration, Local 372. Thank you, Brother Jacques. Thank you, President Trump.
Thank you so much, E.D. Garrido. I mean, we want to really thank you for your leadership. We know it's not easy when you're talking about over 150,000 municipal workers and you treat every single one of them as family, as you mentioned. And we're in a time now where folks are looking to cut here and cut there, and they're always looking for who they think is the most vulnerable. But thank you for making sure you're looking out for the most vulnerable of our members. And we appreciate what you've done thus far and what you'll continue to do. Again, thank you, Executive Director Henry Garrido. Well, I believe Mom's mic is working, and we're going to ask Mom, the mom of our mighty president, Sean D. Francois the First. We're going to ask Mom Perry for some remarks. Mom. Uh-oh, come on, Mom. I know you're going to do it this time. You're going to get it right, Mom. Come on. You're on mute.
I'm mute.
Oh, okay. All right, because if it didn't work, our jobs were on the line now. The production team is back here sweating, thinking they're about to get fired because Mom's mic is not working.
What they say, be so ever ready. And you can see that I'm not tax suave at all. I don't know how I lost you, but I'm going to tell you something. This has been awesome. Awesome. Congratulations to the chairperson. Congratulations to you, my extended son, Jack, Donna, Korea, and especially to my son, Sean Francois. I was just so overwhelmed to see you start the program with one of my favorites, the Kwanzaa. Principles that we need to carry throughout the whole year, not just for the month of December. I see you doing it in February. Beautiful, beautiful. And the dance groups, they were fantastic. Those fortunate, it brought tears to my eyes. I remember when those 4 little darlings lost their life. I was out there. And it reminds me of all the problems and the trials and tribulations that we had to go through. I try to teach my children that this history we have built on standing on many shoulders, some we will never know. And that we have a lot to be thankful for. And I can just say, continue doing what you are doing. I just remember the history of Local 372, who was the first president happened to live on our block. And he introduced us to Charlie Hughes. I can remember, I don't know if a lot of people remember him, but I do remember and respect his wisdom. And I am so glad that Sean remembered him and everything that you're doing. And everything that this program need to be more how would I say, televised. It should be on television, not just for a few of us to see. Continue to do the good work. Congratulations and kudos. I love you all. Y'all my extended family. God bless and
God
stay
bless.
safe.
Thank you, Mom. Really appreciate it. Let's hear it for Mom Perry. Thank you so very much, Mom. And we're going to stay in the tradition of strong women and strong Black women within our labor movement. We have with us the president of 2627, also a vice president of DC 37, Ms. Laura Moran, to bring us some brief remarks. You're on mute, Laura.
I'm trying to.
There you go.
Great. Thank you, everyone. I just want to bring blessings and greetings and say thank you for inviting me. So far, it's been great to see everyone come together. Even though we can't be together, I miss and love you all. I can't wait till we all can be together and hold hands and hug each other again and be able to just say and cheer each other up and pat each other on the back, say good work and keep up the hard fight. Because it's not done. We cannot get weary. We must continue to fight and push, even with this, even though we got Congress and we got the presidency, we got to hold their feet to the fire and make sure that they push and pass the HEROES bill and the rescue bill and make sure that New York gets bailed out so that they will not try to go back and lay our members off. So we got to make sure we reach out to our congressmen and push our legislators to put for New York State to push for the early retirement incentive bill so that those who are weary and ready to retire will get the rest that they so duly need. And I just want to say thank you again and keep up the good fight. And if I can help, please reach out to me. My local is local 2627. The website local2627.org. I always put up as much information as possible. I'm there for you. And make sure y'all come to the Disability Advisory Committee. It's the second Tuesday of every month. And reach out to me. My email is on the local website, and I'll be willing to help in any way possible. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Madam President. And while we're with strong Black women, we're going to ask this strong Black woman who stands on the shoulder of so many. She's the recently minted a councilwoman-elect out here in Queens, District 31, who she came to Local 372, she came to DC 37, and she came to Local 371 via Michelle Achapong, her sorority sister, to get our support. And at this time, she's in the lead by, I think, about 200 votes. But we know she's going to carry the day by March 10th. Our very own Sabina Brooks Powers, the new city councilwoman for District 31.
Thank you and good evening, everyone. Good evening, and thanks so much, Jacques, who is like a big brother to me. And thank you to all of the members of Local 372 for the continued support, the prayers, the fight that everyone put down, all of the DC 37 members that were a part of this. It means so much to me. Shout out to Sean D. Francois, who is also a resident in the 31st Council District. Door knocked on your door. I thank you for your support. He was like, go ahead, move from this door. You already got this one. Focus on the other doors.
Video times. It's all good.
Yes, that's what it's about. It's about the footwork. And this campaign was more about community and not about me. We have so much that needs to get done in the city of New York, especially in the 31st Council District. And I'm excited about the possibility. I'm excited about being an ally with each of you to be able to continue to move our city forward and address the needs and concerns of the hardworking families. And as I've always said, I am a labor baby. I wear that name proudly. I come from a family where my mom has been a member of 1199 for over 30 years. Had it not been for her union job, I don't know where I would be. My dad passed away when I was 15 years old, and she was left to raise myself and my younger sister. And the union helped pay for college. I have since worked in the movement for an increase to the minimum wage. And there's so many issues to continue to fight for. To ensure safe work environments, livable wages, benefits, and what have you. And so the fight continues. We are waiting for all of the votes to be counted. And I am confident that we will be successful, and we're moving into the next round. Petitioning starting on Tuesday, so not much rest left there. Continue to keep me in your prayers, and however I can be supportive. I thank you for inviting me to this Black History Month event on Zoom, and I don't see Jackie on here. Jackie invited me, but thank you for inviting me. It's been amazing. I was happy to see the Asoto performance as well, and all I can really say is thank you, and I look forward to continuing to be an ally.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sabina Brooks Powers. Again, congratulations. We know the type of hard work you put out there. We have boots on the ground with you in the 31st District as President Francois dispatched our staff to assist. Next up, we have with us, he's a friend of our union. He's our union colleague, as we call it. He's our union brother on the other side. He's the Chief of Staff, I believe, the Special Assistant to the President of the UFT President, Michael Mulgrew, but we see him at all of our events. Mr. Anthony Harmon, Brother Harmon.
Well, thanks so much. Thanks so much, Jacques, for that introduction. And I want to thank, Sean for inviting me, and my sister Nina Manning for inviting me to participate and to listen and to be a part of this Black History program. Thank you. And I truly feel blessed with what my eyes have seen and what my ears have heard and what my heart has felt. I tell people all the time that being Black is just not a color. Being Black is about a state of being, right? It's about sharing in those cultural similarities that we share. Being Black is about sharing, it's a spiritual thing almost, right? So it's not just to be about a color, it's more than that, right? People ask me all the time, like, why am I involved and why am I engaged in this particular work? Although I'm not a member of DC 37, Jacques, as you said, I am a member of the labor movement, right? And an injustice to one of us is an injustice to all of us, right? And it's important that we all continue to stand together, even during Black History Month, which I say is every month. I heard someone earlier say that Black History Month is every month, all year round. One of the things that I learned to do in my short tenure, my 53 years on this earth, is our brother Francois, I've learned to avoid the Tater family. You know the Tater family. Y'all know the Taters?
Yeah.
Y'all know the Taters? Let me tell you about those taters, right? First, you got Miss Spectator. Miss Spectator, always there looking. She can tell you what anybody got on. She can tell you how they had their hair. She can tell you what kind of shoes they wore. She can tell you all of that stuff. Miss Spectator, she's just there looking and just observing and never contributing anything, but just Miss Spectator, just being there looking around, never contributing anything worth a damn to the conversation, right? You know her? She married to Mr. Hesitator. Mr. Hesitator, he always the one that hesitates. Oh yeah, I'm gonna pay my union dues. Yeah, I'm finna do that. I'm finna do this. I'm finna come down and do some political action. Oh yeah, I'm finna make some phone calls. Oh, I'm finna pass out some leaflets at the train station. I'm finna, and never do nothing. You know, Miss Spectator and then Mr. Hesitator. You know, they got a kid called Miss Agitator. Always there stirring up some mess. Always there stirring up some mess, right? She in the middle of it, always stirring up. When you go back and he said, she said, he said, it always goes back to Miss Agitator, right? You know, she is the brother of Mr. Dictator, always telling people what to do. Never want to take criticism for anything, but always telling people, you got to do this, you got to do that. The minute you criticize them and tell them something about what they do, they get all offended and all upset, right? Y'all know these Taylor families, I'm telling you, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. We see them in the labor movement. We see them in our churches. These Taylors, they all over the place. Because, you know, then you got the Miss Imitator, always trying to be like somebody and all this other stuff. They're always imitating somebody, right? She is the cousin of Miss Rotator. They rotate their friends like a daily basis, right? Today they with you, tomorrow they not. Somebody else, their best friend. They always in different relationships. They always got some stuff going or whatever. Y'all know them Taylor families, right? Then you got the distant cousin, Mr. Amputator, always ready to cut somebody off, right? Cut them off at the knees, right? Cut them off, cut their ideas off and all of that. Y'all, we got to avoid the taters. Black History Month, we got to avoid them taters, right? Get them out, get them out, get them out, get them out, get them out. Happy Black History Month, everybody.
Thank you so much, Brother Harmon. And you know, I hope you don't have a trademark on that because we're going to have to steal that one, brother. The Tater family. We stay away from the Tater family. I started getting hungry thinking you talking about potatoes or tomatoes. I didn't know. But thank you so much. Thank you so very much, Brother Harmon. And we're going to now go to the next person who also doesn't need an introduction. We you know, he's like the next generation. He's that brother where when they think they've cut off the top or they've cut off the leadership, but then there's something else growing right underneath that's taking care of business. He has what they call the fresh legs. Me and Michelle Achapong was talking a little earlier today about, you know, when you go door to door. I remember helping candidates back in the days, and I'm running up the project stairs, knocking on all the doors. But now we get sometimes to the point where we just tell our nephews or our sons, you go up those stairs, give out this pamphlet, and let them know to vote for this candidate. You know, the legs may not be exactly the way that they used to be. Well, in the labor movement, we have some fresh legs. They're on deck. They taking care of business. He's the executive vice president of Local 372. He's also the PAC chair, and he's one of those young firebrands that's taking care of business. You know, management, when they're not treating our members right, they don't want to see our EVP show up, and he's everywhere. Our EVP, our executive vice president, Mr. Donald Nesbitt.
Thank you, Jock, for that introduction. Thank you to my Local 372 family. Hello to you all this evening. Thank you, President Francois, for this Black History celebration. I was on the call last night. Michelle, if you're still there, yeah, Jock, let Dr. Bobley know he got some competition. Jock is right there with him, neck and neck. Right?
I
am. It's fitting that we celebrate tonight. It's fitting that we celebrate Black history on a day. How fitting and how things tie in that on a day where we're celebrating Black history with Local 372 and its members who work in schools. We're provided with news today that we're getting our first Black woman to be the chancellor of schools. How fitting on this day that those things come about. I say things happen for a reason all the time in life. 2021 and a celebration of Black history, I'm going to take you back into 2020, right? Into a reflection of some of the things that we saw in 2020, which I think are fitting today. When we look at the celebration of Black history, we look at COVID-19 and what it had did and what it had done to Black communities and how disproportionate numbers of Black people died from COVID. it's no surprise to me, and Jock and I, he can go back into March when it first started. Him and I had this conversation before it was coming out in the news, and before people were beginning to talk about it. We both said a lot of Black people are going to die from this, right? And that was because you look at some of the high risk conditions, and you don't, if you Google some of the diseases that Black people die from, right? High blood pressure, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, asthma, sickle cell. And then you look at you do a side-by-side comparison of the risk factors of people who were going to be at risk from COVID. You see that it's the same exact symptoms, right? And the same exact diseases that were killing people. So COVID-19 changed our lives, changed our communities, changed the way we look at things, and really brought the certain things that we already knew exist to the forefront. We seen Black folks on the front lines of this pandemic who were a lot of times in very vulnerable states, but yet they were providing the food insecurities to these same communities and making sure that people were safe and were going to make it through. We saw those same workers, because I'm in the labor movement, we're going to talk about it, where workers begin to run the world, across the world. You saw people who were standing up, who were some of the very vulnerable people in society. Then we took a look in 2020 around the month of May or June. We looked at the murder of Brother George Floyd. And I'm going to call it what it is, right? The murder of George Floyd, right? And how that brought a reflection and made us relive some of the realities that we've already saw in our communities, right? When you talk of police reform, when you talk of criminal justice reform, when you talk of all of these things, these are some of the things that we already knew existed. And so that just brought it to the national spectrum where people were beginning to say, I'm tired, we are done dying. As my brother president that came on before me, President Harmon, would say, and in the NAACP, we said, we are done dying. Enough is enough. And so we begin to rise up. And my personal story, I'm going to share with you tonight. You see me as the executive vice president here, but at home in my personal life, I'm raising 4 Black men. And so the conversation went around the murder of George Floyd, and I asked them questions. And I said, how do you all feel about this? And what do you see in society? And my 2 oldest sons, they said to me, they said, Dad, burn everything down. 2 college kids, 2 Black men going to college in America felt that things, don't tell them about burning things down, because this is a state of where America is at, and America has brought themselves to this state. And then my 2 15-year-olds said, you know what, Dad, we understand what's going on in society, and no Black men should ever have to die at the hands of police or anyone. And they said, but we think burning things down is a little bit too far, right? And you know what I said to all 4 of them? I said, all of you are correct, right? I said, in your views, and I'm glad that you're expressing yourself. But then I remember growing up as a kid in Brooklyn and seeing how poverty and police used to offer us $20 to stand in a lineup. And I have friends to this day who haven't came home from jail from the 80s. And so those things are a reminder to me when things happen in society, that things that happen in Black communities just don't happen in white communities, right? And people are going to say, when Donald says that, oh, you know, that's racist. I didn't create racism is my answer to that. And but these things are a reminder. And so we were reminded in this moment when we said we are done dying. Malcolm said the greatest mistake of the movement has been trying to organize a sleeping people around specific goals. You have to wake up. You have to wake the people up first, then you'll get action. And we saw that around the murder of George Floyd. We were reminded, and labor should always be reminded by Dr. King, who says, the time is always right to do what's right. So at DC 37, in June of 2020. And I got to give credit where credit is due. President Francois and our executive director, we spoke about this and we decided, and I made a motion on the board to create a reform committee that was going to look at systemic racism in society, and we were going to address some of those inequities. And I got the support of those two leaders. And that took courage, right? Because at a time where people are playing or are taking the political position or the political way out, these two brothers said, if you make that motion, I'm going to support it. And my president, your president, President Francois, was very supportive. Executive Director Garrido, very supportive. And so labor began to strike for Black lives. In the month of July, we went out with 32BJ, the nurses union, and several different unions. And we stood in front of Trump Towers and several different places. And we said, as essential workers, no one should be killed at all. And if someone is killed, someone needs to be held accountable. And so we begin to strike for Black lives. Just January 26th of this year, 2021, we put together a police reform resolution, which we are passing before the 300 delegates of DC 37, where we're talking about labor supporting reforms in society. No longer will we stand on the sidelines and be silent. That isn't who labor has ever been. And so with the DC 37 Voices of Change Committee, it was established. It was the catalyst for social, racial, and economic justice. And at that time, more than ever, labor is going to be a champion on these issues. It is our obligation, and we will not stop. And I urge you all to not stop until we receive justice for all. And so with that being said, thank you all. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Jack, for the introduction. Thank you, President Francois. And to the members of Local 372, thank you for coming out to join us. Thank you to our extended family, everyone that's here. But I just had to share my story with you all. I think we don't do enough of telling our stories, and I just had to share that with you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. EVP. And as you can see, there's a whole lot of superstars in the house tonight. And our executive vice president is one of the executive vice presidents that support his president wholeheartedly, as well as the members of Local 372. Again, we want to thank you again, Donald, especially for the work. And I've had the opportunity to see it firsthand, how hard you go in the paint. We want to thank you for that. Next up, we have a huge program left. You please do not turn away from this program. We have a soda still coming up. We have a phenomenal DJ with DJ Mo. He's about to carry the night as well. But we would be remiss. Yes, sir.
Sorry, President Francois. He wants me to go into to do a raffle real quick. So okay. I have a question for a raffle.
Okay, raffle. Get ready on your keyboards because I think it's a $50 gift certificate. Go ahead.
So executive board members, first off, of Local 372, we want to be clear that you are not eligible for this raffle. We want to open this up to the members. The question that I have today is, who can tell me the three entities or the three affiliate unions that we are a part of?
The first in the chat correctly gets a $50 gift certificate. Local 372 members only and non-executive board members.
We have one.
Who's the winner?
Simone Schroman.
Wait. Oh, again. Okay, Simone is the Jeopardy champ here. Okay, Simone.
Yeah, I gotta say though, Senator Lou, he's definitely honorary. He was up there. He was fighting.
Oh, Moran had it, but she's not a member. Sorry, Laura. Sorry.
know if they can win it twice, though, Brother Donald.
Way to go, Stroman. Great job. We're gonna make you the official archivist or historian of Local 372, the way you're going. And also, we want to award the person who came on first to the program this evening. You know, one of the things that we try to do is try to start things on time and finish on time because we respect time. And the first person to log on as a member was May Wong, excuse me. May Wong gets a $50 gift certificate for logging in on time when the program started. So May Wong, please see Sonny Isbelair sometime this week for your $50 gift certificate. Next up, and I promise you, please bear with us. We have a couple more speakers, then we're going to go into the entertainment, but we would be remiss if we didn't bring on this next gentleman. He's been a mentor to our president, Sean D. Francois I. In fact, when our president won his election back in 2014, he took him under his wing and said, you know what, I'm going to show you the ropes, and then I'm going to let you fly from the nest, man. And this brother, he's the international vice president at ASME. He's a vice president at DC 37, and he's the president of the mighty Local 371, our brother, Anthony Wells.
Hey, good evening. Hey, family. Hey, family. How are you? My brother Sean, my brother Jacques, and Donald, and all your executive board, my friends and family. Good evening. How y'all doing? Thank y'all for letting me be here and be a part of this. But we family, so we're just home. Hey, I got news. Got my first shot today. Oh my. Hey, like I told my people last night, listen, a year ago, almost about a month later, I almost became an ancestor. So I understand the seriousness of what we're doing. I want to thank all of you guys for participating and doing the work that you've been doing in the schools and wherever you work, and participating in this union. Okay? And your president and your union, man, you talking about I'm the mentor. No, we stand side by side, mentoring each other together and learning as we go forward. Listen, there is no American history without Black history. It's just that simple. And the diversity within the Black community, we don't talk enough about that. We don't talk enough about how we come together. You always say, oh, we can't do that. We can't. No, we can. We do a lot. We don't have to talk about what we can't do. We need to focus more on what we have done. And one of the things that we've done in our community is such our diversity. Because we come from everywhere. As Charles Anthony used to say, we from down south, up south. You know, we from this island, that island. We from the main island, which is the continent of Africa. We from all over. And we need to spend more time learning more about that and embracing our diversity and our power and our strength. Because one thing about the union movement is made up of diverse people. And we've had struggles in the union movement. I am on a committee on what asked me to deal with internal racism, internal inequalities, and injustices that happen within the union movement. Because it all wasn't outside the union movement. Some of it's inside the union movement also, and we need to address that, but we can't let that take over while we're here as union people. You know, I always tell people there's showbiz folks, there's business folk, and there's union folk. Okay? And we've made our mark. We celebrate so much of what we do. You know, we had the pleasure of working with so many elected officials who are real. There's a wave of change here. And guess who's in the heart of that range? We are people of color, Black people. It ain't new. It's just going to another level and being stronger. So we can work this out. We're gonna survive this scourge because we have been having 400 years plus of scourges, physical, mental, and emotional. And we have not overcome, but we'll continue to get better. I see my vice presidents on here, Michelle Chumpon, who lets us dabble, Jacques, in politics, elected official, who won. I ain't gonna talk long. I want to sit here and relax. I had that shot. I had no reaction, but I did go to sleep. So I had some sleep. So listen, folks, you make your own personal decision. But let me say this about us. The history of the Black experience in America is not changed, cannot be changed. It has happened. We have been abused and misused and everything you want to say. And we've been successful with so many accomplishments. And some of you know, but I want to give you your name, learn more about Fannie Lou Hamer. Fannie Lou Hamer, who did her thing in the male-dominated civil rights movement and gave her life later on because she believes in the power of unity, the power of working hard together. So let's continue to do that. My brothers, my sisters, our family, 372, we thank you. We thank you for the opportunity to give us a couple of words. Hopefully, we can lift ourselves up and continue to do it. God bless y'all. God bless the union. God bless Black and brown people all over the world because their time is here. It ain't tomorrow. Martin Luther King say, how long? Not long. Because we're here right now. Thank you, my brothers and sisters. I appreciate it. I'm going to be quiet and listen now, Sean.
Thank you for that motivation, Brother President Wells. We really appreciate it. And we just have a couple more speakers before we get to the heart of our entertainment. We have with us our Assemblywoman who has been doing a tremendous job, has been partnering with us for quite some time, Assemblywoman Alicia Hyman. We're going to ask her to provide us with a few remarks. But before we do so, just want to acknowledge a couple of folks who are with us. We have the president of Local 154, Brother Juan Hernandez, who's with us. We also have with us the president of Local 95, Linda McPherson, as well. Thank you for coming out and supporting us as always. I see you, Sister Linda, and I love the hairpiece you got on. That's looking good right there. Okay, you dressed for the occasion. Yes, ma'am. And at this time, our State Assemblywoman, Alicia Hyman.
Thank you, Jock. Thank you, Sean, for all the text messages I got today, reminding me that I have to be here. And one of the things, I am a real public school advocate, public school grad myself, my children in public school. I knew Donald Nesbitt. Now he has some grays in his beard, but I knew him when he was in high school. Yes, I know I only look 25, but I think one of the things I thought about during this pandemic is that when our schools stayed open and the local 372 members made sure that meals were there, not knowing what we were facing as a community, but every time I went into a school building, I saw them putting out fresh food for families, not just for the kids, but for entire communities. And that told me that you are on the front line. And so when I look through the pages and I see everyone that's there, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for keeping our city together. I also want to say thank you for the work that I know is coming. And one of the things I love when Anthony Harmon, I've never heard that Tater speech, but I'm going to use it too, is that there are a lot of people around you that will try to dissuade you from staying the course. And I have to tell you, I've seen Sean Francois talk down some principles that I know that your president is out there on the line fighting for you. And that tells me that this is a union that supports its members, not from the top down, from the bottom up, all throughout the place. And so as Anthony said, we need to focus on what we have. Congratulations to everyone on Black History Month celebrations. We can't take it for granted. There are many more firsts for us to do. There are many more ceilings for us to bust through. And with this leadership, I know that everything is possible. And that as we negotiate this budget, let's not lose focus of what we need for your members. Please stay on us. Make sure that our members are doing what you need us to do in the assembly. We are the people's house, but we don't want any confusion when it comes to making sure that we do what we need to do for Local 372. So I thank you all. I just want to remind you, if you live in Jamaica, Queens, and you live in, it's 20 zip codes that we have, and you have elders or people who are at categories 1A and 1B, James, I sent it to Mount Moriah, so y'all should have it. York College is doing vaccinations 7 days a week, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You can sign up online. Like Anthony says, it's your choice. But for our seniors who we know are very, very vulnerable, please get the vaccination. My mom and dad took it. My mom's an RN over 40 years. And she said she wanted to make sure that she got the vaccination. My father, my mother did it. So please, if it's in your purview, get the vaccination. 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. at York College in categories 1A and 1B. Thank you for the leadership of Local 372. Thank you, Jacques, for always supporting not just the union, but the community that you support in Southeast Queens. You lift us up, and thank you for your leadership. Thank you to the leadership of the executive board. Thank you for all of you, because without you, there is no executive board. Okay, onwards and upwards, Local 372. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Assemblywoman. And we're about that time to get into the next phase of the program, which is the entertainment. Just a quick shout out. I see Carmen Flores on. I see Cynthia Turnquest as well. She's there. Want to say hello and thank you. But we're going to go into the next phase of the program with Isoda. And I believe the production team is queuing it up, get ready to go. Isoda has another performance. Sisters and Brothers is called. Tribute Stand. His Eye is on a Sparrow, and Power. At this time, Isoda.
Sisters and brothers, brothers and sisters, ain't we everyone? Brothers and sisters, sisters and brothers, every father's daughter, every mother's son. Brothers and sisters, sisters and brothers, each and every one. Sisters and brothers, brothers and sisters, every mother's daughter, every father's son. Ain't we lucky, everybody, being everybody's brother? Ain't we lucky, everybody, looking out for one another? Ain't we happy, everybody, being everybody's sister? Ain't we happy, everybody, looking out for this condition? Ain't we lucky, ain't we? Ain't we happy, ain't we? Ain't we lucky, ain't we? Ain't we happy? Brothers and sisters, ain't we everyone? Brothers and sisters, sisters and brothers, every father's daughter, every mother. Brothers and sisters, sisters and brothers, each and every one. Sisters and brothers, brothers and sisters, every mother's daughter, every father. Sisters and brothers, brothers and sisters.
Give me somebody to dance for. Give me somebody to show. Let me wake up in the morning to find I have somewhere exciting to go. To have something that I can believe in. To have someone to be. Use me, choose chances. Give me somebody to dance with. Give me a place to fit in. Help me return to the world of the living by showing me how to begin. Play me the music, give me a chance to come through. All I ever needed was the music and the mirror and the chance to dance for you. Give me a job and you instantly get me involved. If you give me a job, then the rest of the crap will get solved.
take a stand. Not knowing I'd lose my best friend. But I'd rather live right than in hell. Lift up my eyes. All God's children just stand. Yeah. Stand. Tell somebody, say, you stand. Yeah, Lord, yeah. Stand for holiness. For holiness. Oh. Stand for righteousness. And be counted among them that shall reign with him. His own. I decided to take a stand, not believing I'd lose some of my friends. And I would rather live right, learn in hell, lift up my eyes. All of God's children just stand. Everybody saying you stand. Oh, stand for holiness. For holiness. Oh, stand among them that shall reign with him. Oh, stand when friends are gone. Stand when you're all alone. And believe it shall receive his own. Here, stand for holiness. And the counting among them. I'm gonna be in the number. The friends are gone. All along. And believe he's coming back to get us. Oh, stand for holiness. For holiness, for righteousness, and be counted among them that shall reign with him. Stand, the friends are gone. Stand, when you're all alone. I believe it shall receive his own. Everybody stand up and say, stand up, for holiness, stand up, for righteousness, stand up. You're gonna do it. You're gonna do it now. You're gonna do it now. Point to somebody, say, you stand. Hallelujah. Clap your hands, everybody. Clap your hands, everybody. Hallelujah.
Why should I feel discouraged? And why should the shadows come? Why should my heart be lonely and long for heaven and a home? When Jesus Jesus is my portion, and my constant friend is He. Well, well, His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches over me. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. Oh yes, I sing because I'm happy this evening. Yes, I am. I sing because I'm free. Sure enough, I'm free. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches over me. Oh yes, I sing because I'm happy this evening. Yes, I am. I sing because I'm free. Oh, thank God Almighty, His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches over me. Well, I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? A band of angels coming after me. Well, if you get there before I do,
always in the lead. Who you wanna be? I'm who they wanna be. B-E-A-U-T-Y-E. Never seen so much rage from a queen. Rage from a queen. Queen so strong, thought she was a machine. Girl of your dreams, Sinclair Regine. Turn to the max, can't forget Maxine. Refer to me as a goddess, I'm tired of being modest. 100 degrees the hottest. If we're being honest, ebony antibiotics. Black people win, they say we being demonic. Angel in disguise, I hate I have to disguise it. Why you gotta despise it? Rich in the mind is why I'm making deposits. Carry all the power, it's time to realize it.
Don't know, good take my power, my power, my power. Don't know, good take my power, my power, my power. They feel away, oh wow. They feel away, oh wow. Don't know, good take my power, my power, my power. Don't know, good take my power, my power, my power. They feel away, oh wow. They feel away, oh wow.
This that rhythm, this that lightning, this that burn, this ain't no perm, this that nappy, this that herb, this that kinfolk, this that skinfolk, this that war, this that bloodline, on the front line, ready for war, where you gonna run? Get it loose, get it low, get it low, why you get it loose, get it loose, get it low, get it low, oh, oh, gotta protect my grace, keep it locked in the safe. Don't make me get back to my ways. My power they never take.
Don't know, good take my power, my power, my power. Don't know, good take my power, my power, my power. They feel away, oh wow. They feel away, oh wow. Don't know, good take my power, my power, my power. Don't know, good take my power, my power, my power. They feel away, oh wow. They feel away, oh wow.
Fumani bo, salinganile ikumka, ninganga basi amansa, ngizokobisa banenka. Tulani bo, salifukile timonila, nibabuzila basiyonga. There will be peace when I'm done. Chongani bo, ngimnes kimsam, sizile tila izikat, la amakwala watangan. Salani bo, naiboni kinga lento soy lungi September mi, kama kola soy kataman.
Good take my power, my power, my power. Don't know, good take my power, my power, my power. They feel away, oh wow. They feel away, oh wow. Don't know, good take my power, my power, my power. Don't know, good take my power, my power, my power. They feel away, oh wow. They feel away, oh wow.
And I'll be to back a more. You know, be to touch a more.
Simply means let's go. So what's that?
Boom, boom, check you later. I roll with the danger. Atoiki, ninja, ninanji, ninja. Boom, boom, check you later. I roll with the danger. Atoiki, ninja, ninanji, ninja. What's up?
Amazing, amazing.
You and me. You and me.
We want to thank Asoda for such a tremendous job.
You and me are free to be you and me.
Thank you all for watching. Isoda's free to be you and me. Follow us at Isoda for real. Be well.
Be well. Let's give them a round of applause. You could put the emoji up saying great job. You could clap on the screen. This was a tremendous, tremendous performance by Isoda. We want to thank the Edge School of the Arts for doing such a phenomenal job. I want to give a special shout out to a longtime friend of mine who runs the school with her family, Kerry Edge, and her family for putting together such a wonderful program and the work that they do on behalf of our young people. In fact, in the chat room, we've been receiving messages. How can they support this? How can they help? This is a type of cultural experience that needs to be in every single school in New York City, because we know that the arts is very important towards developing various aspects of the brain, which leads to our young people excelling in mathematics and excelling in science, excelling in all of the different disciplines. The cultural experience is extremely important. Kerry Edge, I know you're extremely modest, but my executive vice president said she has to put in the chat where they could reach her, how can they help to further provide services to our young people. Before we go any further, I would like to bring forth a young woman who's been a tremendous friend of Local 372, has held us down when she was the chair of public safety in the city council, Miss Vanessa Gibson. Councilwoman Vanessa Gibson, can we have some brief remarks, please? I think you're on, Councilwoman. You might have to unmute.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, Brother Jacques, and good evening, everyone. It's so good to see all of you, to your amazing president, my good friend, Brother Sean D. Francois I. Shout out to you, to my good friend, Donald Nesbitt, certainly to Jackie and to everyone at Local 372, DC 37. God bless each and every one of you. Shout out to every member of 372 that has been truly instrumental during this global pandemic known as COVID-19. We appreciate you. We see you on the front lines as essential workers. We are so thankful for your commitment, for your courage, for your compassion, and for your conviction. Thank you so much. It's been an honor to work with you. I'm Councilmember Vanessa Gibson. I bring you greetings from District 16 and the borough of the Boogie Down Bronx, BX. And I am excited at all the great work we've done together over the years. I've been at the city council for 8 years now, and due to term limits, I will be leaving at the end of the year. But I know that God is not done with me in the council. While I will close a chapter in public service, I look forward to opening a new chapter as a candidate for Bronx Borough President in this June's election. And equally as important, the month of February, the designated month when we give honor and we give tribute to so many Black Americans, pioneers and trailblazers that have blazed, such industries that were never designed and ordained for Black Americans. We salute every one of our heroes and sheroes, those upon whose shoulders we proudly stand firm on, knowing that they have paved the way, they have allowed footprints to be set, and we are stepping in those footprints and we are taking over in a transformative way. Black history is American history, and American history is Black history. And I don't know about you all, but I celebrate Black history every month, because it's not just about February, but it's about the history, the sacrifice of Black Americans across this country. And I am excited when I look at what's happening across the political landscape. Look at what happened in the election for president and vice president. Our new vice president looks just like us, Kamala Harris. And we have so many women of color that have run for office that have shattered the glass ceiling. And I am proud of all of that. And I want to thank all of you at Local 372 for all of your work, your president, your vice president. You guys have been instrumental. Sean, I like Alicia Heineman, I'm also a recipient of multiple text messages, and I'm grateful for that because you always remind me of what's important, and I don't lose sight of that. Sometimes in the whirlwind of politics, we get inundated, we get overwhelmed, but I never forget about my people in School District 9, my family powers, my SAPAS workers, my school aides, cafeteria workers, health aides, school crossing guards, all of the administrators that keep our schools running. I salute you. And on this day, this historic day of the new appointment of our amazing school's chancellor, who I'm so proud to say, I'll give Southeast Queens credit because she was born and raised in Southeast Queens. But I just want to say that her 20-year history as an educator is in the Bronx, in School District 9 and District 11, as our superintendent, executive superintendent, and now chancellor. Look at how God works. Misha Ross Porter. And look at so many other things. Look at Lester Young, who's now sitting atop at the Board of Regents. Look at all of these Black Americans that are stepping into positions and really leading us, looking like us, coming from us. That's what Black History Month is all about. And so I salute all of you and I thank you for a job well done. Thank you on behalf of my community, my district, and my borough of the Bronx. I thank you for loving our children and our schools the way you have. The Get Food NYC program, all of the statistics that the mayor talks about is all credit to you all, because you were there, rain, sleet, hail, snow, giving out meals to families, individuals, to children, making sure that they were well fed and nourished. And we know food insecurity is greater than never before. So I thank all of you. And during this celebration of Black history, we honor all of you, we salute all of you, and we thank you. Be encouraged and know that we are here to do God's work. We are here for a purpose, a time, a reason, and a season. And we will stand firm in our purpose and we won't get distracted. We will keep our eyes on the prize because there is too much at stake. Our children, your children, God's children needs us like never before. So I salute you. Happy Black History Month. Thank you so much, Local 372. May God bless you and keep you. And may we always look to all of the great things we've done as we move forward together as one city on behalf of all of our people. God bless you all, guys.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman. BX in the house, the Bronx in the house. Thank you so much. And we pray for that God guide your steps and the next phase of your public service.
Amen.
As you mentioned, Bronx Borough President, the election is on June 22nd of this year. And our petitions start March 2nd, which is Tuesday of next week. So thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule, Councilwoman.
Yes, God bless everyone.
Thank you. And we have with us, we would be totally remiss if we didn't bring on this next person, because at a time when our labor movement was plagued with the disease of racism, we had organizations step up to protect the Black labor force. And we have the New York State chapter president of CBTU, the Coalition of Black Trade Unionists, Mr. Charles Jenkins, to bring some remarks. And this organization is exceptionally vital to Black labor movements as well as Black laborers in the United States and beyond. Mr. Charles Jenkins.
Greetings, brother. Jock, you're doing a fantastic job, and I'm in agreement that our air personality needs to watch out. We got a labor guy in the house, but to Sean Francois and the amazing committee that put this rich program together, I greet you in the name of Black History Month. And I might share a little bit of history. For so many of us know about the famous historic bus boycott in 1955. And the first thing that pops into our minds is Rosa Parks. But I want to say to everybody, 372, when we talk about our history is rich and our history is deep. 15 years preceding Rosa Parks, in the village of Harlem in 1941, there was another boycott, a bus boycott. And I want to read to you a piece, because in 1941, 15 years before the Alabama historic bus boycott, the issue at stake was not whether or not we could ride the bus, but whether or not we could drive the bus. So we have continued to make history, because in 1941, the only thing transit workers was able to do was clean the buses. And so we fought, and it was instrumental in Adam Clayton Powell, who joined with the leadership of TWU Local 100, my union, that I'm extremely proud of, a fight back union, a union that continues to fight for justice, the same way 371 has fought for justice for its members throughout this pandemic, because that's who we are. And every single day, we are making history. And I want to remind everybody that Black History Month, as we've been hearing all evening, is not just 28 days, but we're making history every single day. And we can join in that struggle to make history, because almost close to 6,000 Black workers, predominantly Black workers, in Bessemer, Alabama, here we go, in the South again, are trying to organize an Amazon. And we look to support those workers that is looking for a better working conditions and just a safer work environment. And so during this here Black History Month, we thought we need to continue to make history on the last day of so-called Black History Month on February 28th. We will be supporting workers in the struggle to organize in Bessemer, Alabama, right here in Harlem, in the village of Harlem, the Black Mecca, and where 60 years ago, there was a bus boycott to defend workers and make sure that workers had not just a low wage paying job, but a job with dignity and respect. That's our history, our rich history. So thank you so much for the great opportunity to come before 372 and share some words. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. And thank you for that history lesson, because oftentimes we only get the history that those who are oppressing the oppressed give. And oftentimes we don't go beyond that. So thank you for shedding light and keeping the name of those who sacrifice, who may not make the history books. Thank you for keeping those names alive. Thank you, sir. And I just wanted to acknowledge on behalf of President Francois, the president of Local 374, Leonard Paul, who joined us this afternoon. We want to also thank our Local 372 board members, the executive board members who go above and beyond to help keep our 23,000 members strong. Our local board members, we want to thank the school division, who have been doing a tremendous job as well out there in the field, battling all kinds of elements, battling the pandemic to make sure that management understands that our members have backup. So I want to thank the school division on behalf of the president and the executive board for the work that you all are doing. Some ask, how can they help the organization ISOTA? Well, go in the chat room, you'll see their Cash App. And if you could just have, even if it's just $5 to spare to help them keep this program alive, please do so. Like many youth programs in the city, they've been hit tremendously hard because without having classes in their studio, of course, they aren't able to generate the income needed to provide the services that we know our young people desperately need, especially our young people who are going through some very strong and debilitating mental challenges right now due to the pandemic. Well, the time is here to introduce our next keynote speaker. Our keynote speaker is now a sitting judge, and she's aspiring to be a judge in the surrogate court. And some may say, well, what is surrogate court? Surrogate court is the court that essentially protects the legacy of the citizens of New York State, the citizens of New York City, and in this case, the residents of Kings County. Oftentimes in our families, we die in what they call intestate. Intestate means you die without a will. And when you die without a will, now it's up to the court to help probate the estate of the deceased. And we know for many of us, probating the estate, depending on the family dynamics, the family could end up with absolutely nothing. So that grandmother who came from down south and worked for 40 years and purchased that brownstone in Bedford-Stuyvesant, she passes away. She has 3 siblings. One is in Virginia, one may be in California, the other one in Atlanta. They may not know exactly what to do. And before you know it, that estate of that woman that worked for 40 years scrubbing floors or whatever the case may be, that estate is now in the hands of the courts. And we know that the courts don't treat our people kindly or fairly oftentimes. Well, this next keynote speaker is running for surrogate court in Kings County. It's a very important seat, and it's one of those seats that those who are in power do not want to let go, because they understand letting that seat go means protecting the legacy of Black and brown families. They know letting that seat go means that monies that they usually give to some of their appointees won't get to them. And this young lady graduated from George Washington Law School, one of the top law schools in the country. I had the honor way back when to give her first job out of law school when she was fresh and young. She came to the law firm at the time. I was a supervising attorney at the law firm, and she was the person that said, give me the case. She went to trial when no one else wanted to go to trial. We recognized immediately that she was a superstar in our law firm. And straight from there, she became one of the youngest judges in the state of New York and in the city of New York. And recently, our political action, as well as our local, has endorsed her candidacy. And I believe DC 37 at the delegates meeting endorsed her candidacy. Without no further ado, a young powerhouse in our community, Judge Dwinnie Paul.
To God be the glory. To God be the glory. Amen. Thank you so much for that introduction. So now I have to take a roll call. Good evening to the mighty, mighty DC 37. Good evening to the mighty, mighty local 372. Good evening to the always ready, always present, always leading the charge for justice and equality. Local 372. Indeed, you are always leading the charge for education, for developing the young minds and protecting our children. You are our school aides. You are our health aides. You are our crossing guards. You are our family paraprofessionals. 25,000 Department of Education employees and counting. Good evening. What an honor and pleasure to be with you this evening celebrating Black History Month. I will say I know the audience that I'm before tonight. I know those that fill this virtual room tonight. You are the union that never has to get ready because you stay ready. And so thank you to our president who leads the charge, President Sean D. Francois I. Thank you to our executive director, Henry Garrido, who takes us further in a united way through DC 37, giving honor to our host, our illustrious host, Jacques Leandre, who was my former boss. And now when he comes into my courtroom, I have the distinct pleasure of making him say, Your Honor. And I have the distinct pleasure of saying, you may commence your case, counsel. So thank you to all of the locals that are here tonight, all of the locals. I see a few people came into the room and have been moving through, and I'm grateful for all of the support that has come my way through local DC 37 as a whole family unit, a powerhouse. And so today, when we focus on and celebrate Black history, our history, we know that Black history is American history. Undoubtedly, because we focus in and we never, ever forget our past. And our theme this evening is remembering our past, embracing our present, but empowered for our future. And so as we remember our past, we think about all that we have been through to get to our present. And when we think about our present, we never forget our past. We remember our present, which is bitter and sweet. We remember our present, which has trials and triumphs. And with all of that that we have today, we focus in empowering the future and all the promise that it holds. And so when we reflect back and we remember our past, may we never forget. May we never forget the ancestors who were kings and queens in our motherland. May we never forget the princes and princesses. May we never forget all that we are made up of. And the journey, hard journey that brought us to the shores of this country, and how we labored brick by brick for this America called the land of milk and honey, for the White House laid brick by brick, for the roads and the fields, and for the families that were nurtured by our mothers. May we never forget their sacrifice when we remember our past, because Black history is American history. The same way that the civil rights movement is the labor movement, woven and intertwined in the same message, in the same movement, and in the same power to ensure that we will never be slaves again, that we will be workers who are empowered in 1935 with the enactment of the National Labor Relations Act that allowed us to unify and come under the umbrella and protection of our union. And I'm reminded of my mother and her legacy, coming to this country, an orphan at 8, formally educated for the first time at the age of 13, and came to this country with 2 suitcases full of hope, humble beginnings, but rich with determination and hard work, and had come here in this country for the American dream, graduated from CUNY and became a healthcare worker and joined the ranks of 1199 union workers, and the protection that she had and covering that she had. And so I'm reminded of her legacy and what it means to remember my own past and think about embracing my presence. And when I think about Black History Month and I think about our theme of embracing the present, I think about the bitter and the sweet. I think about the trials and the triumphs. And we have seen an extraordinary 4 years that passed us by, where our children had to be sheltered from their ears and hearing what was on the news in the media, and sheltered from their eyes to see what they were experiencing day to day. And we remember the voices that cried out in the streets that said, say their names, George Floyd, that rang out, say their names, Breonna Taylor, say their names, Trayvon Martin. And so we took to the streets because enough was enough. And this was a global effort. This was not just a local community that we were used to, coming out for a press conference, fighting out and crying out for change and justice. This cry, this time, was heard loud and clear from one side of the globe to the next, from one street corner to a borough wide, from one city block to the state of New York, to the state of California, to the state of Georgia. We took to the streets because we realize that the time is now. And so the time is now where we remember what it was when Stacey Abrams brought to the forefront her experience in the race in Georgia, having lost the election. But we saw the empowerment of Black women rising up to the challenge. We saw the experience of Black men rising up to the challenge. We saw the experience of the world standing behind us, standing beside us, moving forward with us. And so in our present, we have the sweetness, the triumph of having elected our first woman as vice president to the same White House, who her ancestors and our ancestors laid brick by brick, stone by stone, for the buildings that she presides in. And we saw the change in government between now, where we have the leadership in the House of Representatives and equality in the Senate, where that same woman, a woman of color, for the first time in the world, sits as the president of the Senate, striking the balance, giving the final vote for what will and won't be for life, liberty, and our pursuit of happiness. And so we look forward to empowering our future and all the promise that it holds. We know that the time is now. Enough is enough. The time is now to fight for life, liberty, and a pursuit of happiness. The time is now to fight for our rights as human beings in this country. The time is now to uphold and fight for what is rightfully ours under the Constitution. The time is now to fight for criminal justice. The time is now to fight for healthcare, because we saw what happened with the global pandemic. We saw how it ravaged all of the globe. But in our local America, Black and brown communities suffered in disproportionate numbers. And so the time is now where we continue to fight, to rally, to hold sit-ins, to protest, to take the streets. The time is now to vote, because our health care is what's at stake. The time is now because our education, quality education, is at stake. And the time is now because employment and the right to prosper is at stake. And in the courts, we know the challenges. And we've seen in these past 4 years the power and the importance of that other branch of government, the courts, the judiciary. And so this year moving forward, may we not forget the importance of voting for our judiciary branch, to ensure that there is a judge on the bench who understands uniquely and intimately our experience of what we go through in the community. And so remain encouraged, DC 37, remain encouraged, Local 372, because the time is now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Judge Paul, for that. Really appreciate it. And the time is now. And the time is now for DJ Mo Skills to get on the ones and twos and do what we do at 372, which is have a good time and enjoy the rest of our program. I want to thank you on behalf of the president, the executive vice president, and the e-board, the executive board, for having an opportunity to serve as your host for this evening. I hope you had a good time. But as we celebrate Black History Month, we know that Black History Month is every month of the year, as was stated before. Our history did not start with slavery. In fact, slavery was an interruption of our history. Our history started way before man knows. In fact, when they looked for the oldest man, they will go to Europe, but they wouldn't stop there. They would go to the 4 islands of the Pacific. They wouldn't stop there. When they're looking for the beginning of man and mankind, they have to go to Mother Africa. So we are history. We made history. If it were not for us, we wouldn't have history. So happy Black History Year. We're not going to say month. Happy Black History Year. And on behalf of the president and all the leadership team, we love you. We thank you for joining us. And don't leave, because we have DJ Mo Skills. We're going to do the countdown. He has to take himself off mute, and DJ Mo Skills is going to get busy. So DJ Mo Skills, if you could just take yourself off mute for a quick sec. And hopefully, in not so long of a time, we'll be able to do this in person. Because I know you guys, like I do, miss some of the fellowship that we have as a family, as a union, when we get together and have a good old time.
1, 2.
1, 2. And thank you, President Leonard Paul from Local 374, for joining us. We appreciate you, sir.
Now why you wanna go and do that, love, huh? Now why you wanna go and do that and do that? Huh?
Okay.
Now why you wanna go and do that, love, huh? Now why you
Shout to 372. Jock. Happy Black History Month, everybody. It's your boy Mo Skills, DJ Mo Skills. Big shout to Queens. Big tunes now. Big shout to Sean D. Francois. Yes, yes. It's a vibe, y'all. Let's go. Shout to Judge Esther D. Dwayne Paul. Imogene Jones, I see you. Michelle Dunstan, I see you. Let's go.
Joni Mitchell, never lied.
Hear it here first.
I could turn back and to time, make you fall in love. Come with me again. So would you give me another chance to love you the right way again?
Hear it here first.
Joni Mitchell, never lied.
I put your picture on my mirror. Start to blush when somebody says your name. In my stomach there's a pain. You walk in my direction, I go the other way.
Shout to all our frontline workers, all our crossing guards, school workers.
What's happening to me?
Putting it on the line every day.
Can you tell me what it is?
We say thank you.
I lay my head on my pillow, staring out the window, trying to stop for a sign. The reason why you're always on my mind. You come around like it's Chevy when I see you.
Shout out to my man Donald Nesbitt. Donald, I see you, boy.
Never know when you might walk by, so I gotta be around when I see you.
Myra Vega, I see you. Shout me. I'll shout you back.
In my notebook, checking how my hair and my nails.
Hey, Miss Deborah.
I feel myself in the zone. Nervous when you call, so I say I'm not home. I see your face and I hear my favorite song. Should I send an email at home? You're the number one topic on the top.
Sherry, you on my screen too.
Do you have a clue? Yeah. I lay my head on my pillow. You got me staring out the window. We're showing a star or a sign. What's the reason why?
Hear it here first.
You're sexy boy. Hey baby. Never know when you might walk by. So I know. Baby, when I something now is taking over me. Yeah. I'm not gonna run now. Just gonna stand here and see.
Hey, Miss Tessa. Friday Night Vibes with your local 372. Yes, go. Hey, Miss Jennifer. Miss Natalie.
Let's take this overboard. I want you to ride.
Absolutely. On the Caribbean mix. We just begun.
Just what you're doing now. Baby, now we can coast. Let's go. Don't get in a hurry. No, that's too slow. And put that thing in over. I want you to ride.
Nearly twice my age. Don't know what it is, but it's a hit from my youthful days.
Okay.
As I go my way, I don't care what people say. I'm in love with a man nearly twice my age.
Right.
I ain't gonna do me. I ain't gonna do it, Toronto. I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. She wants a man who can block out the royalty. The I ain't gonna do it, you know, say in that money. She don't want no lovers, honey. She want the money, she don't want no love.
Real rockers.
She want the money.
Well, I tell you, girls, in my youthful days, I never loved another man my age. And then the gun, he came along, made me smile all the while. He stood tall and strong, so strong, so strong.
Young man have strength, but that is nonsense. She want a man to let her broke sense too. She want pay line bill and rent, and you know you have to have a big dividend, and down the line the pocket of the ambulance, and make sure say that your dollars are full of strength.
Stood up for me when no one cared. Stood up for me when all the men
Me all a walk like a champion, talk like a champion. What a piece of money, girl, tell me where you get it from. Up on your entrance, ram pa pa pam pam. Can't let me in me. Yes. Where you are waiting, walk like a champion, talk like a champion. What a piece of money, girl, how will you get it from? Up on your entrance, ram pa pa pam pam. Girl,
Big Sean, I see you. Let's go.
We'll be more than dead to take your hand and lead you to the promised land. We break this foot diamond. All you got to do is be true, so let's go respond. Satisfy your emotion. After for the press, instantly she was. She no hold and tough and she no got time no rust. Things too down precious like she never get a cut. Pants on the expand a back to all and pull up. He help me up to get to his mouse. Think I walk like a champion, act like a champion. What a piece of body can tell me where you get it from. Now find your entrance, ram pa pa pam pam. Can't let me in everything. But up on your car, you no lose for them way. You no good enough to test no matter what I can say. Put on your clothes, it's like a display. Man, I swear, about night and day. Would you be my honey and the woman lady? We cannot just smile on our face and say. Woman want good love, no sympathize. Woman want good love every night. Right up. Yo,
Two reggae tours, let's go.
Action. Sweet. Don't be ready, tell them don't go. Action. Sweet. Don't be ready, tell them don't go. You think you are so fine. Big chat no work, yeah, man, watch the time. Stop playing with my mind. Oh, man, no, in a joke when she will want the wine. You call me on the phone. I know what I thought.
Friday night.
Come down. And I
it's a vibe.
Want you home.
Get your glass. Happy Black History Month.
Action. Sweet. Don't be ready, girl, them look out. Action. Sweet. Don't be ready, girl, them look out. I need some action, tender satisfaction. My chemistry is flowing. Can you cause a chain reaction? I need some action, tender satisfaction. My chemistry is flowing. Can you cause a chain reaction? Want you to know that I am the man who fight for the right and not the wrong. Seeing this and seeing that, going here and going there. Soon you will find out the man I'm supposed to be. This man don't trouble no one, but if you trouble this man, it will bring a bam bam. What a bam bam, what a bam bam, bam bam dilang bam. Bam bam, what a bam bam. I know this little girl, her name is Maxine. Her beauty's like a bunch of roses. If I ever tell you about Maxine, you older say I don't know what I know, but murder she wrote, murder she wrote, murder she wrote, murder she wrote. Action with him, a pretty face and bad character. Then the kind of living can hold chaka. Follow me. A pretty face and bad character. Then the kind of living can hold chaka. Say, girl, you pretty, your face it pretty, but your character dirty. Girl, you just a act too flirty. You run to Tom Dick and also hurry. And when you find your mistake, you talk about you sorry. Good now. Papa Cozy kind of wish you jokes and wish you jokes. It's a celebrate. Something saying. Yeah, that's for him. Kick up. Rock wine. Ling-a-ling-a-ling, and silent swing. DJ Dave stack up in the beer bomb rhythm. Ling-a-ling-a-ling, gold bell a ring. Pipe and talk a pipe and dumpling. Booyaka, booyaka, a shabba ranking. Slabber rocks disappear with another man chin. So them are the done to the biz. We have the key, put the down to the key and turn them in a donkey. Yes, them are the done to the biz. We have the key, put the down to the key and turn them in a donkey. Who they think they are? Yes, they can't allow me. I am the general in the DJ army. With that only I am cross all the thing. I said all the girl them tickle fancy. And anywhere we go, y'all gone crazy. Listen, ling-a-ling-a-ling, school bell a ring. I find talk, I find the dumpling. We come for some ranking disappear with you, another man chin. So them are the done to the biz, we have the key, to the down, to the key and turn them in a donkey. Them are the done to the biz, we have the key, put it down to the key and turn them in a donkey. You see, when you dance, I little price of wine. You see, I come to foot down, wine your body. You see, you can't find it to the man and you carry. You see, back there's time when you see your mate. You see. Tell me what you wanna, what you really wanna do. Tell me the big girl, if the love is really true. Tell me what you wanna, what you really wanna do. Tell me the big girl, hey, I know I'm a line up. Yo, if you really love me, let it flow. And if you don't love me, let me go. What in the road where I let you know that everyone knows me love sometimes. I don't know about you, but it ain't a problem. It's not the guy. Sometimes I don't know about you, but it ain't a girls, all fruits ripe, but I want good. I wanna just me. Here why? They allow. Can you see your body right now, murder? You must want the DJ charge for a day. I'm gonna see your body right now, murder. You must want the DJ charge for. Shot it up on your saddle, ride up on your back, exposing your property. Man, I say for merchandise, ever they never run out of stuff. Full of shape like a coke back without it. That things that go off in your body. Just me find that all fruit rhymes. So make them go and chat. What am I do? What am I try? Who them I try? Stop from body rider. How we get you off in that? So me say, woman, you say your body rider murder. You must want the DJ charge for a day. Woman, you say your body rider murder. You must want the DJ charge for it. Can't hold in a bucket, can't hold in a pan. Me hygiene ready one drop fraction. The DJ want to know how where she get it from. Body rider, the girl I use and a madman. We know body rider. That killing now go out. If the face starts the one, the body free, I shall go to check out just make a later down the south. Walk come a dance, come shack out. So me say, woman, you say your body rider murder. You must want the DJ charge for a day. Can you see your body rider murder? You must want the DJ charge for no girl in a body shot. We say them hot but them flop, cause under them body job black. So you feel man at the loader and deal with the case. Go do vocal dance and make up your face and make your make you have a slice of the cake. And your body rider in the man. Bring the beat in.
Honey, I can see the stars all the way from here. Can't you see the glow on the window pane? I can feel the sun whenever you're here.
Where the ladies at?
Time you touch me, I just melt away. Now everybody asks me why I'm smiling up from ear to ear. But I know nothing's perfect, but it's worth it. After fighting through my tears, and finally you put me first. Let me get you. You're the one I love. You're the one I need. You're the only one I see. Come on, baby, it's you.
I can see the stars all the way from here.
Let's pick it up a little bit.
And just see the glow on the window pane. I can feel the sun whenever you're near. Every time you touch me, I just melt.
Get that clap.
Everybody asks me why I'm smiling I'm from ear to ear. But I know.
Okay.
Nothing's perfect, but it's worth it after fighting through my tears. And finally, you put together.
Let's go.
You're the one I love. You're the one I need. You're the only one I see. Come on, baby, it's you. You're the one that gives your all. You're the one that always call when I need you, make everything stop. Finally, you put my love on top. Ooh, come on, baby. You put my love on top, 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 top. You put my love on top. Ooh, come on, baby. You put my love on top, 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 top. My love on top. Baby, now I can feel the wind whipping past my face as we dance the night away. And boy, your lips taste like the night of champagne. As I kiss you again and again and again and again. Everybody asks me why I'm smiling I'm from ear to ear. But I know, nothing's perfect, but it's worth it after fighting through my tears. And finally, you put together.
You remember?
You're the one I love. You're the one I need. You're the only one I see. Come on, baby, it's you. You're the one that gives your all. You're the one that always call when I need you, make everything stop. Finally, you put my love on.
All right.
Don't you know that we can't worry about the things they say, 'cause they can't change the way we feel. No, what we have is more than they'll ever know, 'cause what we have is oh so real. All right, I can't go a single day without you and all the things that you did. Oh no. Girl, you make a blind man see. My eyes are open now. I want you here with me. You believe in love. I will never let you down. Oh no. In love. I will always be right there. Ever since that day I laid my eyes on you, I knew you were the one for me.
Never try me, always stood right by me. Living lively, highly spoken of, the only love, the only one. You're my wifey, make my life complete, sweet. But you know when I flip the street, free. Only when it comes to me, see. That's why you're my wifey.
You know, 'cause you had my mind blown. Oh, oh, oh. Down at the club on one like what? Had you, babe.
Saw you outside, passenger side, 'cause I let my best friend drive. You was in line.
That's when you caught my eyes, girl.
You were so beautiful.
Beautiful.
It was so critical, so critical. You look so crucial, girl. Something about you, everything you are mine. Still right by me, living loudly, highly spoken of, only love, only one. My wife, make my life complete, sweet. No one is living street free. Only when it comes to me, wifey. That's why you're my wifey. You know you're sexy too. I like your attitude. I ain't even mad at you. Girl, you're still cool. Either braids or weave, skirt or jeans.
As we keep it moving, can't forget, shout 372 Executive Board.
You are so beautiful.
Y'all make it happen.
Girl, it is so beautiful. Girl, you look so crucial. Something about
we vibing.
Everything you
let's go.
My life would be sweet. No one is the girl you know. You only want to come to me. See, that's why you're my one. Can spend my life when it comes to you. He's too busy.
Everybody put your hands in the air. We don't need no hateration. Somebody better calm Duke down, cause they ain't a lace 'em. So while you're waiting, get it percolating. Love the smoke, preferably purple hazing. Sharp as a $1.50. Doing my dance to Honey Mag, cause she can't keep up with me. But I'm still banging them, sobbing them, still robbing them. And the whole world know kisses a problem.
Do remember,
I ain't come to fight.
If you have a chance to
tonight and hit more than one tonight, get it.
Please get vaccinated.
And Mary J and Jada, yo, we did it again.
Come on, everybody, get on now.
We're trying to get back to normal.
We got to get it wrong. Mary J is in the spot tonight.
And until you get vaccinated,
Feel alright, feel alright.
please stay safe.
Party with me, let loose and set your body free. Leave your situations at the door, so when you step inside, jump on the floor. Let's get it crunk up on that funk up in this dancery. We got y'all open, now you're open, so you got to dance for me. Don't need no hateration, holleration in this dancery. Let's get it percolating while you're waiting, so just dance for me. It's only gonna be about a matter of time before you get loose and start to lose your mind. Pop you a drink, go ahead and rock your eyes, cause we're celebrating.
She makes the hands on the back of my neck stand up. Just one touch, and I erupt like a volcano and cover up with my love. Baby girl, you make me say,
I'd like to thank everybody
anything else I'd rather do.
For attending tonight. Always keeping in mind, giving thanks to the man above. Remember those that we lost. Always keeping them in our thoughts, keeping them in our hearts. Yes.
Sexy love, girl, the things you do. Oh, baby, keep me strong. Keep me running back to you. Oh, baby, I love to you. Girl, you know you're my sexy love. I'm so addicted to her. She's the sweetest drug. Just enough, still too much. Say that I'm simping, I'm sprung on love the above. I can't help, she makes me say, hey, and I just can't think. Ooh, anything else I'd rather do than to hear you sing. Sing my name the way you do. Baby, do what I think. Baby, do the things you do. Oh, baby girl, you make me sing.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I went
went from Ellie Hansons to mini mansions. The girls in the Aruba doing belly dances. Been half of my advancing, jars from Branson to make it through my circumstances. But you know I'm wiser now, move like Kaiser now. Got a butter soft leather just to hide my pound. Got a house in the valley, come and find me now. Got enough dough to buy the town, so I might give a 6 to my chick, Benz to my mom. Crib so big it look like the Synagogue. Give her a couch just to spill Henny on. And been a don since Lotto's and Benetton. Come on.
I say that I'm not the same girl. They say I think that I'm in my own world. What makes them think that I have changed? Yeah. Now that I talk about it, raise my problems. Be like you, I have to try and solve them. Yes, everything is quite the same. Whoa, I'm just trying to be me, do what I do, what I gotta do. People think that I'm just sitting on top of the world, sitting on top of the world. I'm just trying to be me, doing what I gotta do. Some people think that I'm just sitting on top of the world, oh yeah, sitting on top of the world, sitting on top of the world. Sitting on top of the world, top of the world, top of the world, top of the world. Sitting on top of the world, top of the world, top of the world, top of the world. Yeah. I wonder why there's something in my life. Fairy tales and everything is so right. I wish that you could know the truth. Yeah. My life is real, so please don't get it twisted. Problems the same, you gotta be dealt with. These are the things I wish you knew. Oh. Always in someone's life, so many words unwise. I wish that you'd be down with me, waiting like myself, always being someone else. I need to be free. It's not that easy. I'm just trying to be me, do what I do.
Why we gotta do it like this, baby? Damn.
Come home late, it seems you barely beat the sun. Tapping my shoulder, thinking you gon' get you some. Smelling like some fragrance that I don't even wear. So if you want some love, and I suggest you go back there where you came from. Day to day with you, it's always something else. Working my nerve, God knows that I don't deserve what you put me through. Cause I've been so true to you. For you to come at me with another lame excuse. See, I heard it all before. All of your lies, all of your sweet talk, baby this, baby that. But your lies ain't working now. Now look who's hurting now. Who's hurting? I had to shut you down. I had to shut you down. Play the fool, play the fool. I was your fool. We can dance, clap your hands, all night. If you're in love, do what you want to do, all night long. Happy days are here, so leave your cares behind. Just relax your mind. It's so easy to do it. Just enjoy yourself, feeling right. Get your move on. Take your time tonight. Take your time. Ain't nothing but a pop. Everybody, move your body. Now do it. Give me something that's gonna make you move and groove. Hey DJ, keep playing that song all night, all down with the party. Hey, 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 Mr. DJ. Hey, Mr. DJ, you can get this started. Everybody's ready to party. All night, all night. All the girls are ready, so we can all get to it. Can party till the break of dawn. Oh, everybody, move your body. Now do it. Here's something that's gonna make you move and groove.
It's a vibe, y'all.
DJ, keep playing that song.
It's a vibe.
Night.
Friday night.
On and on.
372. Happy Black History Month. Happy Black History Month. Happy Black History period.
Here's something that's gonna make you move and groove. Hey DJ, keep playing that song all night, on and on. Friday night and the weekend's here. I need to unwind. Where's the party? It's the DJ. I am ready to call my friends so we can all get down with the party. Hey, 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 Mr. DJ. Hey, Mr. DJ. You can get started. Everybody's ready to party. All night, all night, all night. All the girls are ready, so we can all get to it. Get the party till the break of
My man.
I need some loving. And baby, I can't hold it much longer. It's getting stronger and stronger. And when I get that feeling, sexual healing, sexual healing, oh baby, makes me feel so fine. Helps to read my mind. Sexual healing, baby, is good for me. Sexual healing is something that's good for me.
Hey boy, would you meet me on the roof tonight? I got a surprise for you.
Oh, something's got me so excited, baby. A feeling I've been holding back so long. You got me shook up on your loving. And boy, I can't wait to get started loving you.
I really know you love to come. I'm ready to go show you. You should have love. I love.
And now that I can feel you coming closer to me, I'm not running. Oh, man, I can't wait to get it on.
I'm gonna give it to you.
I can't wait to love you, baby. Mr. Telephone Man, there's something wrong with my life. When I dial my baby's number, I get a blink every time. Mr. Telephone Man, there's something wrong with my life. When I dial my baby's number, I get a blink every time. When I dial 611 in the middle service, she said, hello, may I help you, please? I told her something must be wrong with my phone, 'cause my baby wouldn't hang up on me. Mr. Telephone Man, there's something wrong with my life. When I dial my baby's number, I hear a blink every time. Mr. Telephone Man, something wrong with my life. When I dial my baby's number, it rings every time. The message is meaningless. To ease the pain of having no one in my life. And I'm tired of being undercover. It's time to never give my feelings to lie. The sky is calm, the stars are bright. What's better than to be alive? I relax my mind and be at ease. And let this journey set me free. Set me free. And now my way. Hey, to the place that I long I don't love her. I try to tell myself, but you can see it in my eyes. So don't deny, I can't do no one else. The truth is in the tears I cry. 'Cause if it isn't love, why do I think this way? Why does she stay on my mind? If it isn't love, why does it hurt so bad? Make me feel so sad inside. If it isn't love. But now I know better. How does it feel? I can't describe this feeling that came when I saw her last night. Oh, she got to me. I let you know the reason. I saw her with another guy. So if it isn't love, why do I think this way? Why does she stay on my mind? And if it isn't love, why does it hurt so bad? Make me feel so sad inside. I can't sleep at night. I toss and turn, listening for the telephone. But when I get your call, I'm all choked up. Can't believe you called my home. And as a matter of fact, it blows my mind. You would even talk to me. Because a girl like you is like a dream come true. A real life fantasy. No matter what your friends try to tell you, when they fall in love and be together, it's kind of clever. Just like that, just like that. Every little step I take, you will be there. Every little step I make, we'll be together. Every little step I take, you will be there. Every little step I make, we'll be together. Can't make you.
She's too hot.
Put her on my vest. Can't believe that she said yes. She's impressed. This could be the start of my happiness. She's so fly, intelligent, and she don't get high. Lord, you should see her thighs. It's enough to make any grown man. This girl don't even bother. When she fills out her pants, thank you, no to her father. Hey, yo, Rick, you understand? She's too high. Girl, it's too high. She's too high. The place she's in smells so good, it must be sin. But then again, it's too late, 'cause I'm all in. I gave me as a birthday gift. She can scratch and sniff, then love me down when she gets a whiff. What she don't know, I'll show her. Don't think she got much to learn. Oh, I don't wanna own her. The next page turn. She's too high.
Okay. Yes. What was you doing in '88? Summer. Suzuki Sidekick. Top down. Let's go. Let's keep vibing, y'all.
Really gotta have you, 'cause when my body speaks, I can't take away. And you're so exciting that you take my breath away. So get ready and let me love you. I've got the answer right inside me. Love is the devil. I wanna take you through. I wanna win, girl. So let me know what's on your mind. I'm curious about your loving. I'm curious. I wanna know what's on your mind. I'm curious about your loving. I'm curious. I wanna know what's on your mind.
keep me on top. Love it ain't been funky. She's got that what you did to me this morning had me late for work. I'm stressing. Miss my meeting, Lord. I'm thinking about is you. And now I'm looking at the clock. Counting the hours till my head is wrong. Wish I never had to let you go. Love and good has become get right back to love, baby. I get right back to love, baby. I get right back to love, baby. I get right back to stuck in transit all day dreaming. I miss you, there's so many reasons. Most of all, I really wanna lay with you and just feel your touch, babe. I'm looking at the clock, oh yeah, counting the hours and the hours getting wrong. Wish I never had to let you go. But I never let you go. And let's become till I have to get right back to love, baby. I get right back to love, baby. I get right back to love, baby. I get right back to I can't do let's become I'm back with you, baby. I get right back to love, baby. I get right back to love, baby. I get right back to I never knew there was a love like this before. Never had someone to show me a love like this before. Now that we have come to be a brand new life, I can see. Never thought you'd be a special part of me. No, baby. The reasons are because of you. I can go on and make it through. I can't even take my mind off loving you. And I wanna say I never knew there was a love like this before. A love like this before, no. Never had someone to show me a love like this before. I know you can see all the things you mean to me.
No doubt, yo. Special girl, real good girl. Biggest thing in my itty bitty world. Queens. Caught her up and she made me feel right. Wish the bliss could never take flight. Stand up. Sitting back with this mic in my hand. Spitting hot shit, trying to see grand. Imprinted on my mind every minute. Make my plans and you always in it, y'all. Such a vibrant thing. Vibrant thing, a vibrant thing. And even though we both fly, give each other space and not the evil eye. Acting like grown-ups, don't even try to hide cause the spot blown up. Girlfriend telling you she wanna see. I say I don't know, but you say gladly. And when we both do it, we go on and on and on and on and on and sweeter than Ben and Jerry. Can I rhyme? Well, you know I guess mine. Sitting around in my abstract car. This abstract thing going abstract far, yeah. Such a vibrant thing. Vibrant thing, a vibrant thing. Yeah, it's such a vibrant thing. Vibrant thing, a vibrant. Ghetto. For real. Ghetto. Time if your motion is still. Let me move some things around because the lyrics is ill. Abstract, you know my sticky D in here. Get on and swear it's in here. But your girl just moved to the joint in the club in the car for crew. Bruh, look, the movement is on. Mountain and mommies and Victoria dolls. I get my rhyme on dust, guaranteed to make it right if your night is a bust. You vibrant and you fresh and all. Original to say the least, and you impress them all. Come on. Rappers thought that they saw, finding it very hard to make it over the wall. Hey, get your weight up, my motto you heard, and I go to death here to felonious words, So girls move it around. If you see your main dog, give your brother a pound and just breathe and stop, for real, and give it what you got.
Bust a bus. 9-7. Hot shit. Check it out. Hit you with no delaying, so what you saying, yo? Silly with my 9 milli with the dilly, yo. When I be on the mic, yes, I do my duty, yo. While up in the club like we while in the studio. You don't wanna violate, nigga, really and truly, yo. My main thug, nigga named Julio, he moody, yo. Type of that slap Tully. Bitch, nigga, get to death, act fruity, yo. That looking shorty, she a little cutie, yo. The way she shake it make me wanna get all in the booty, yo. Top mistress at the banging bitches and videos. Smiling with my freak like we up in the freak shows. Hit you with the shit, make you feel it all in your toes. Hot shit, got all you niggas in wet clothes. Styling my metaphors when I formulate my flows. If you don't know, you fucking with lyrical player pros like that. Do you really wanna party with me? Let me see just what you got for me. Put all your hands in my eyes to see. Straight up, ballin' in the place to be. If you really wanna party with me, let me see just what you got for me. Put all your hands in my eyes to see. Straight up, ballin' in the place to be. If you really wanna. Oh my God.
Okay, couple of things. Shout to my neighbor Susu. Shout to everybody out there. Let's keep safe. Let's get through this COVID thing so we could do this in person. Friday Night Vibes with 372. Let's go.
Microphone checker, swinging sword lecture, closing down the sector, supreme neck protector. Better want him, kid, Mr. Mepsa. Falling pop, about to blow his lid from the pressure. Too hot for TV, for cheesy. Too many wanna be Harvey Easy. It's all in together, going all out together. It don't take much to please me. Still, homes are never satisfied like the Stones. We don't condone fighting, see them selling crossbones. Protecting what I'm writing, don't clash with the Titan who blast with a license to kill rap recitants. Come on, in the zone with your nigga from the group home to Cal.
Fuck your lifestyle.
Put your lights out, get this shit to crackin', got you feeling with your pipes out. Time for some action. Surfing the avenue, mad at you, where I used to battle cruise. Back when Antoinette had that attitude. Cover me, I'm going in. Walls closing in. Got us busting off these pistols. My niggas got issues again. Same song, armed with the mega bomb. Blow you out the frame, then I'm gone.
Yup, I was going too, but we roam. Cellular phones, doc meth, back in the flesh, blood and bones, don't condone. Spin bank loans and homegrown. Suckers break like turbo and ozone. When I grab the broom, moonwalk, platoon hawk, my goons spark, leave you in the blue lagoon lost. True. B9's in the club with Nasu, he died in the club, right behind on the boss. Haters don't touch, way is both up. Now my neighbor doped up, got the cable hooked up. All channels, lift my shirt, all mammal. You ship off keys and we ship grand piano. Sold off shotgun, hand on the pump, sipping on the 40, smoking on the blood. Bust my gun, red and map, didn't jump. La 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 la.
The Mike Jordan, the rap, Mike Jackson, the pop. The Mike Tyson, the street airs with no socks. The Hugh Hefner, the game, yeah, and it won't stop. Till I meet the Lord Crow for the hood, it's all good. Spielberg when I spill words to track. I'm a sick dude, you can't feel worse than that. For you slow-minded dudes, I
Somebody's sharing their screen.
Yeah, the administrator is sharing their screen.
explain the things I feel for you. Girl, you know it's true. Stay with me, fulfill my dreams, and I'll be all you need. Feels so nice, girl. You're the perfect love of my life. I'm fine life. Feels so nice, like I ain't found to see. That's fire now. Come on, girl.
H to the Izzo, make you leave your jerky boy like Frank Rizzo. My neck and back, jigger voices music, forget the track. Clap, 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 clap. Before we lose it, track masters, bring it back. Let's go.
I knew the love would bring this happiness to me. I tried to keep a sanity with patiently. Girl, you know it seems that life is so complete. I love the truth because of you. You're doing what you do. Oh, you're the perfect love. Search for all my life. Oh, so girl, you're my girl, you're my girl. Leave me there.
Let me tell you what I wanna do. Let me show you that I feel you. Wanna freak, wanna rock you. Wanna taste when I put my lips all over you. Can't get enough of you. Always thinking of you. So sweet, I can't forget. So good, girl, you make me sweat. What I'm talking about is and cream. Oh, that's right. Know what I mean? Peaches and cream. Girl, you taste so good to me. Oh, oh.
Let's go. Energy, energy, energy.
Well, even if we fall out, brethren, we go all out. We were never close to family, them for us crawl out. Everywhere we crawl out, we ready to brawl out. Fire on the friends, family, we ball out. We jumping with peace, family. With peace, family. We mash up, we like a bomb. Just everybody jump up together. Jump up together, mash up together. Mash up together, make them together. Make them together, jump up together. Whoa, what's up, the crazy people jumping up in the van? All kind of different things they have in their hand. They jumping up and down, they don't give a damn. Carrying on like them is a hooligan. We gon' mash up everything like we have insurance. And tear down everything like we have insurance. We gon' shell on everything like we have insurance. When crazy people reach up, they have insurance. Cause we have endurance. We gon' mash it up and buy back. Tear down and build back. Mash it up and buy back. Tear down and build back. We gon' mash it up and buy back. Tear down and build back. Mash it up and buy back. Break it down and blah, blah, blah. Yes, take your bed in the bed. That's the thing, don't hang on behavior. Yes, that's the rest in the bed. That's the young it up with the powder. Yes, take your bed in the bed. That's the thing, don't hang on behavior. Yes, that's the rest in the bed.
City, qué rico, papi.
With my West Indian family, Trinidad and Tobago, TNT, with GT, Haiti, Jamaica, Bajan, Panamanian. Shout out to my neighbors. Shalom. Brooklyn, stand up. Brooklyn, stand up. Queens, stand up. Harlem, Bronx. Stand on it too. Donald, I see you. That's some good chair dancing, bro. Thank you, Jock. Thank you, Big Sean. Thank you, 372, for having me. It's a pleasure. Give thanks to the man above. Big vibes, big tunes. Miss Murphy, I see you. espérate. Dímelo, todos mis dominicanos, familia. Tú sabes, está heavy. Claro. Señora, me quiero todos. Mi gente, tú sabes. Somebody yelling at me for reggae? Copy. Reggaeton.
DJ Sly Pop.
Que me hace feliz, me cura el dolor. Mi otra mitad es una adicción y yo quiero más. Vivo en la luna por ti, vuelo sin alas por ti. No hay que me quite esta nota que estoy sintiendo por ti. Vivo en la luna por ti, siento mil cosas por ti. No se me pasa esta nota que estoy sintiendo por ti. Estoy sintiendo por ti. Estoy sintiendo por ti. Olvídame un poco de lo que tú tienes. Mami, háblame claro y dime qué tú quieres. Ven un beso, me sube los decibeles. Ella sí superhéroe, tiene poderes. Mi superestrella. Ven un beso y dejo la huella. Desde ese día me muero por ella. Prepara la paella, abre la botella. Dentro de la casa, su brillo destella. Rica de mi castillo, caminando por el pasillo. Con la ropa interior color amarillo. Ella se lo merece en el bolsillo, ya tengo el anillo. Si fallo le pido por
Mira,
rodillo. Ella vive.
tenemos la música por todo. Todo.
Por ti, no hay que me quite esta nota que estoy sintiendo por ti. Vivo en la luna por ti, siento mil cosas por ti. No se me pasa esta nota que estoy sintiendo por ti. Estoy sintiendo por ti. Estoy sintiendo por ti.
seguro sabías lo que a los dos nos iba a pasar.
Esta es mi forma de decirte hoy, que donde tú me digas voy.
Hay un lugar tan especial,
donde yo contigo quisiera estar. En ese lugar,
Folks,
donde si quieres nos besamos y me
we want it down.
enamorando.
me voy a enamorar.
On behalf of 372,
Me voy a enamorar.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I could have been anywhere. Y'all was with us. And that's a BFD. Look that up. Again, thank you to Jock, Big Sean, Donald Nesbitt, the entire executive board, and all the members that make it happen every day. Make New York the city that never sleeps. Yes. We appreciate you.
Me voy enamorando.
And again, I hope we're doing this in person real soon.
Me voy enamorando.
Wash your hands, 6 feet. Please get vaccinated if you can.
Me voy enamorando. Me voy enamorando. Me voy enamorando.
Jock, you want to say something before we break out, bro?
I'll defer to my esteemed president, President Sean D. Francois, to give us some parting words and to close out a magnificent event. DJ Mo Skills, we couldn't thank you enough for helping us to rock out this last hour. It felt really like 15 minutes, man. You went through it all. Thank you so much, brother, for the genre of music you provided this evening.
My brother, Maurice, my brother from another mother. What's up, my brother?
You on mute, Maurice?
Did you think again, brother? Did you think again? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, guys?
Yes, Maurice is on mute, though.
Okay. Brother Maurice, I just want to thank you again, brother, for coming through. You always came through the crunch before, and you're coming through again, brother. Through COVID, before COVID, I'm sure you'll be there after COVID. We appreciate you all. Thanks, everybody, for staying. All you people stayed on no longer time. Troopers, appreciate you. Made it to the end. You know what I'm saying? But overall, it was a good show. I think it was very informative.
I'm unmuted. Oh, yeah, there you go. Yo, listen. Listen, everybody on the call, yo, listen, right? Yo, Sean, Jock, who's been with me, yo, listen, from 2 Tish James campaigns, 13, 18, right? To Alika, to Alicia Hyman in Queens, wherever I've been, like Sean and Jock, they've always had my back. So it was nothing when I got the call at a.m. in the morning to jump on and, you know what I'm saying, clear my schedule for the evening. So, and yo, listen, it's, you know, it starts at the top, but I want to send a shout out to everybody on the call, all the members, the executive board. You guys are amazing, man. And how could I leave out Blake? You guys came through so big for me on Blake. Shout out to Michelle Dunson, Emma Jean, Melody. Like Donald was coming through, the whole team. Everybody was up in the Bronx on the weekends. You know what I'm saying? Linda was coming through, you know what I mean? With the team, everybody. But listen, man, really, thank you for having me and always giving thanks to the man above, man, keeping it real simple, understanding that it's a lot of people out there struggling. There's a lot of people just trying to put the ends together, you know what I mean? So I'm thankful for the small things like flicking a switch in my crib and the lights come on, or open the fridge and there's food there. My children are healthy, you know what I'm saying? Hot water, thinking about all my brothers and sisters in NYCHA, thinking about all my seniors that live alone, thinking about people that we've lost. Everybody on this call, I'm sure, knows somebody that lost somebody. So You know what I mean? Let's just all be thankful and always give praise to the man above, and you know what I mean, give thanks for our last 100 and hope for our next 100 breaths. That's all we could do. Thanks, bro.
Thanks, Brother Cummins. Thank you, Brother Mo. Appreciate you. Everybody, thanks you guys for coming out. Thanks again. Until we do it again next year, hopefully before that, before we do something in person, all right? We gotta
Let's do it in person. Let's do it in person, man.
Yes, beloved. Yes, that's what we're going to
Peace,
do.
everybody. Blessings.
All right.
Take care.
Everybody,
peace.
Stay ready, as I say. Stay ready. You ain't got to get ready. Peace.
Oh, man.
Bye, everybody.
Should I run that to the ground, bro? I run that so hard. I'm gonna start putting the shades on top of my head and saying, yo, so I can really get the feel. Yeah, peace. Yo, Jock, I'll talk to you later, boy.
Definitely got you, brother. Appreciate you.
All right. Man. Take care, everybody.
Interior designer Natalie stayed throughout the whole program. We see you, Nat. We see you rocking.
Thank you for staying.
Charles Jenkins hanging there. What's up, brother?
Puerto Rico. Oh.
Good night, all.
All right.
What's good?
Judge Sweeney's in the house.
Mo, my email is in the chat.
Yo, who that?
Emma Jean.
Emma Jean.
Yeah,
Yo, Emma Jean, my number. Yo, send it to my phone. My number the same. I don't got campaign phones or personal phones. They all one. I got your number, Emma Jean. Thank you, sweetheart.
All right.
All right now.